Hello and welcome back, guys, to another new episode of the Python Crash Course. Today we'll be covering about strings in depth. So let's get started without any further delay. So now, what are strings? They are the data type that stores the combination of the characters. Now, this characters is the smallest component of the word. For example, of the word apple, A is the character. Like that. You get it right? Yes. A is the character. The simple characters combination is nothing but strings. So now let's just quickly create a string 1. Now, as I've told you before, you can use single colon, double, and triple as well. There's no compulsion to use this and that specifically. So you can use anything, and I'm using double quotes. I'm writing Python is amazing. Yes, now this is a string. Now today we'll learn about some functions of strings as well and concatenation. Concatenation, what's this complex word? I can't understand it. Take it easy, man. It's just so simple. Concatenation is a process where you add two strings together to form a new string. For example, I'll show you in a practical format. Let's create a string 2, which is Python is easy. Now let's add these both strings. Final str1 plus str2. Now that's simple, we just print it out. Final. Yes. Now let's just run it. As you can see, Python is amazing. Python is easy. Now this isn't a bit good. Both the words are combined. What's that? Now for that, we can just add a space over here and just run it. Exactly. Now, this is concatenation. Let me just mention it over here. Yes. Now let's move on to the next part where we find out the length of the string we have mentioned. Now, what is the length? Like, how do you find length? Length is basically how many characters are there in a string. For example, let's create a string called name, variable's name. The string is Ravi, for suppose. Now, in this, there are 4 characters. Now, that's supposed to be the length of the string. Now, how do you get the length of the string? Let's create another variable, length equals len. That's the function which is used. Now we'll get to the functions, like what are the functions in our later videos, but don't focus on that. Just focus on the thing that length is a function, like it's a part of the data type string. Length of name. Now we'll just print length. Now as you can see, it's 4. There are 4 characters, 4 is the length. So that's about the length function. Now let's talk about another topic which is known as indexing. Yes, you got me right. That is index. Now, what is index? Let's take a string example. For example, Ravi. Now, here we have 4 characters for R, A, V, I. Now, the R memory stores these four characters in a string according to their roll numbers. For example, you go to the school, the student, you are assigned each roll number. Like all of your friends are assigned each of the roll numbers. Like your friend Ravi is one, you are two, you are three, something. So this index is a kind of a roll number assigned to each character. Now, the indexing starts in Python starts from 0 and so on. For example, the index number of R is 0. Now for A, it's 1. V is 2 and I is 3 and so on. So these are the indexes of these characters. Now what is the use? As I've told you, it is very easy to identify or pick up or slice the characters using the index numbers. We'll get to the slicing part in this video. Now, let's do some operations with these indexes. Now, as your teacher calls you, each one of you, using your roll numbers and you just say present ma'am something. So like that, we'll call out each of the character using their index numbers. Let's create a string for that. In that string, we'll store Python. Yes. Now let's just access the P character using the index 0. Now print str. Now you need to use square brackets 0. Let's just print it out. And there we go. We got P. Now let's just print str. What's this? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's print 6. Let's see what we get as the output. Exactly. We get string out of index range. Error. So that's a new thing which you learned. So we've learned that we can access the characters using the index numbers, and if the index number exceeds of the index numbers which are present in the string, it gives out an error. Now let's get to another topic related to strings, which is known as slicing. Now what is slicing? It is basically accessing the parts of a string. For example, let's take the same string Python. Not bad. Yes. Now in this, we have to slice th only. We have to get the access of t and h. Now how do you do that? So basically, you have to get the index number. I'll just write it down for you. Slicing in a square bracket the first index number, like first index colon and the last index. I'll just show it to you in a practical form. Print string 1 colon 4. Yes, 1 is 4, so we get 1, 2, and 3. 4 is not included, keep that in mind. YTH, that's what we got. Now, let's get and discover more functions of the string data type. First one is capitalize function. Now, what has happened in this function? Basically, the first letter of the string gets capitalized. That's it. Let's create a string name. Ram. Now, print name dot capitalize yes. Now you got the first letter, which is R, capitalized. Now the second function is replace. Yes, it's basically replacing the old word with a new word. So let's create a new sentence. My name is Prajeet. Now, let's print. Wait a second. Let's create a new variable called ren. And then send dot replace the old word. What do we want to replace? Is. Now wait. Let's make this more understandable. Let's replace is with R. My name are Prajeet. No, that's wrong. So we'll replace R with is. Now print ren. Yes, my name is Prajeet. Now let's get to the second. Sorry. Now let's get to the third function, which is find. Now what happens here is it just searches a character or a word or whatever you mention for it to find, will find it and just mention the index number of the first character. Let's just try it out. Let's create sen1 and just paste this. Oh my god, bro. Yes, my name is Prajeet. Sorry. Yes, Prajeet. Now, we'll print sen1 dot find e character. The character e. It is 6. 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, we have 3 e's in the entire sentence. So it basically gives the first e it finds. So this is the first e it found. So the index number of this e is 6, and that's what we got. Now let's just enter a word, which is name. Now let's run again. It is 3, 0, 1, 2, and 3. 3. Now another function is count. So let's write that out. Now what is count? The name itself suggests that it counts the number of characters or the number of words which you've mentioned for it to count. So let's try it again. Let's take the same example and replace this with Z. Now print send to dot count. Let's say how many A's are there. How many A's are there in the sentence? Please give me Python. There are two A's. Let's check. One in the name and PRA. Two A's. It is correct. Now let's repeat name twice. My name is name Prajeet name. It's not a perfect sentence, I know, but for the purpose of seeing whether the function is working, let's just check it out. Name. Now it's supposed to print 3 because there are 3 names, and we got it. 3. So this is it for this video. Let's just quickly recap what we have done from the beginning. Now, what is string? String is a combination of characters. It might be words, sentences, or anything else. Next is concatenation. Concatenation is the addition of two strings. Now, next we have discussed the len function, which gives us the length or how many characters they are in the string. Next, we have discussed about indexing. We have learned that a system or the memory assigns each character a specific index, which starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. We have learned to segregate the characters using indexes and access the characters using their index. Next, we have slicing. Slicing is the process where you access a part of the string, which we have done here. We have accessed YTH from Python. Now next are the four functions of the string data type. First one being capitalized, where the first letter of the string gets capitalized. Next is replace, where you replace an old word with a new word. Find. Find is where you find a character or a word in the sentence you have given. It prints out its index number. Now count. How many times does your character or the word you specified occur in the given string? So that's it for this video. Hope you have learned something new. This is Prajeet signing off. Happy learning. Bye.